Welcome to Truth Uncovered. In today's powerful message, we're peeling back the illusion of heartbreak to uncover something far more valuable than love lost to man reborn. Because what feels like devastation is often the spark that leads you to your most authentic self. You didn't lose her. You didn't fall short. What you lost was the illusion, and what you found, it's everything. This is not a video about pain. It's a video about power. Your power. Your rebirth. Your return to self-respect. So if you're ready to shift your mindset, elevate your energy, and stop chasing validation from those who could never handle your depth, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's begin. Point 1. She was the trigger, not the treasure at the time. She felt like everything: her name, her scent, her laugh, her unpredictable presence that you confused with passion. You called it love, but what it really was a distraction from your own emptiness. You bent, you twisted, you adjusted yourself like clay, trying to mold into whatever would make her stay. You didn't see it then, but now in this silence, it's loud and clear. She was never the reward. She was the trigger, the shock to your system that revealed the parts of you that were already bleeding long before she arrived. She didn't complete you. She exposed how incomplete you felt inside. She wasn't your missing half. She was a mirror, reflecting back a version of you still waiting to be validated. The tears you cried, they weren't for her. They were the release of the man who finally realized he's been hiding behind the mask of needing to be chosen. She didn't betray you. She revealed you. And now that she's gone, there's no more pretending, only building. 2. You weren't abandoned, you were set free. Let's flip the script. She didn't abandon you. She released you from the emotional roulette of constantly guessing where you stood, from the performance of always being just right. To avoid her pulling away again, that's not love. That's emotional slavery. And when she walked away, you didn't fall. You were unchained. That quiet you heard, it wasn't loneliness, it was liberation. She didn't leave the real you. She left the version of you that was molded by her needs, her moods, her emotional whims, and that version needed to go. You're not broken. You're being rebuilt without apologies and without performance. 3. She didn't take your peace. You gave her the power. There was a moment you stopped being the man and started being her emotional barometer. Her smile, it became your motivation. Her silence, your self-doubt, her mood swings, your emotional weather report. But here's the raw truth. She didn't take your peace. You handed it to her like a crown. You made her the gatekeeper of your worth. And every time she validated you, you felt alive. And when she withdrew it, you unraveled. But now?
Oh.
Now you can stop blaming her, because power given can be taken back. And that's exactly what you're doing. Each day you stop waiting for a message that never comes. You reclaim territory. Every breath you take that isn't tied to her approval, that's freedom. You're not just healing. You're taking the throne back. 4. Love shouldn't cost you your identity. You didn't lose her. You traded yourself away piece by piece, hoping she'd see your worth. You muted your voice to keep her comfortable. You buried your needs to appear easy to love. You became smaller, thinking she'd finally stay. But love that asks you to shrink isn't love, it's control. Love that demands silence isn't partnership, it's containment. And now that the dust has settled, you can finally admit it. You weren't seen. You were used, but not anymore. You've stopped filtering yourself to be digestible. You've stopped negotiating your soul for crumbs of affection. Because now your full self is back, unedited, unfiltered, unapologetic. 5. The void she left was the space you needed. First. The silence felt unbearable. You missed the late night calls, the random "I miss you" texts, even the drama, because it meant she still cared, right? But here's the transformation. What felt like a void was really spaced at the emotional real estate to finally hear your own thoughts, Space to breathe, to think, to reflect without distraction. Before she left, your mind was cluttered with survival, how to keep her, fix her, please her. But now there's clarity. The ache you feel is not emptiness, it's expansion. And if you let that space stay open, it becomes sacred ground, the foundation for the man you're building. Not to replace her, but to rise beyond. Her 6. Missing her doesn't mean you need her. Let's be honest, you'll miss her. You'll miss the smell of her shampoo in your hoodie. You'll miss the little quirks, the inside jokes. You'll miss the idea of her, not the reality of who she was. But here's the twist. Missing her doesn't mean you need her. You're not weak for feeling. You're human. You don't need her to complete you. You just got used to outsourcing your emotional security. You're not missing her. You're mourning the part of yourself that thought love meant self-sacrifice. You missed the highs, but you've outgrown the lows. You missed the spark, but you've learned to light your own fire, and you don't need what once left you hollow. 7. Closure isn't something she gives, it's something you claim. You want a final message, a proper goodbye, a reason that makes it all make sense. But the truth, closure doesn't come from her mouth. It comes from your mind. She may never explain why she faded. She may never say sorry. She may never even acknowledge the wreckage. But that's okay, because you no longer need her to validate your pain. Closure is a decision, not a conversation. A decision to stop waiting, to stop hoping she fix what she broke. You get closure when you start walking, not when she comes back to pull you out of the fire she lit. You don't need an answer. You need a rebirth. 8. You weren't. She wasn't enough for your depth. You questioned yourself. Was I too intense? Too emotional? Too open? No. You were real, and she wasn't ready. She couldn't handle the storm, 'cause she was never built for deep waters. She played in puddles and mistook your ocean for chaos. You weren't too much. She was unequipped. Next time when someone sees your passion and doesn't flinch, you'll realize something. You never had to tone yourself down. You just needed someone bold enough to meet you in the depths. 9. Her absence forced you to build what she couldn't give you. Wanted loyalty, support, consistency. You gave it. She didn't. And when she left, the void was overwhelming. But something incredible happened in that space. You began to build the support she never gave. Build the strength you once begged for. Build the self-love you once outsourced to her moods. Every night you cried. That was groundwork. Every time you resisted the urge to message her. That was self-control hardening into discipline. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming whole. And the love you now carry, it's not something she gives you anymore. It's something you've become. 10. You didn't lose. Love you reclaimed, self-respects you. Thought this was about love, thought about losing your future, about watching your dreams shatter. But it was never about her. It was about your own self-worth waiting to be reborn. You didn't lose love. You reclaimed your standards. You stopped chasing. You stopped begging. You stopped bleeding for someone who couldn't even offer a band-aid. And now you stand tall. Not in spite of the pain, but because of it. This isn't the story of heartbreak. It's the story of resurrection, of a man who found the fire within and swore never to dim it again. Final message: you didn't lose her. You lost the illusion, and you found the only thing that ever truly mattered. Yourself, respect, your self-worth. Your real story begins now. So if you're done chasing love that breaks you, and ready to rise from the ashes she left behind, like this video, subscribe to Truth Uncovered, turn on notifications, comment below. She left. I returned to myself. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning of the man she could never break again.